Alabama hosting Missouri. Missouri 6-1. Alabama now 5-2 after that loss to Tennessee. This line, like we mentioned yesterday, still at 13.5, minus 13.5 Alabama. The over-under's 55.5 right now. How are you guys feeling?
Doesn't this just feel like, and we've talked about it, everybody this week is going to talk about Alabama's problems, Kalen DeBoer's problem at Alabama. Is Alabama, just not that great? We know their personnel is very talented. We know that they're a good football team. We know that Kalen DeBoer is a good football coach. But it feels like this week, Alabama's just going to get knocked down and knocked down and knocked down to the point where people are going to be like, hey, Missouri can hang in this game. They're like, well, South Carolina hung in that game against Alabama on the road. Why can't Missouri hang in this game? I think Alabama's going to run Missouri off the field.
I agree.
On Saturday. Because make no mistake, Missouri's got some guys on offense, and even though they've struggled, I know Brady Cook came back into the Auburn game and led them to a win, but, beating Auburn, if you got if you got a pulse, you could beat Auburn when it comes down to it right now because they don't know how to win. But the difference in Missouri and really the front seven and South Carolina, and the difference in Missouri and the front seven and Tennessee, right, is way different. Now, if you're going to look at a game and say maybe Missouri can stick in it, it's the Vanderbilt game. But Missouri, while Drink does a really good job with the run game, it's a lot of outside zone and zone runs. What Vanderbilt was doing on offense was it was basically triple option, veer. You had all these different elements that kind of negated some of the athleticism of Alabama's defensively because of the eye discipline. That's not Missouri, all right? They may run some zone read stuff, but Brady Cook's been injured. I don't think they're going to run him a lot. And they're an outside zone team with a good back. We know Luther Burden's good. But that front seven on defense and this Missouri defense is not what South Carolina is not what Tennessee is. And I think Alabama's going to be pissed off all week. Jalen Milroe may go bonkers this week. He may go. If you can do if you're in a state where you can do like prize picks for college, I would have Jalen Milroe in my lineup for sure. I think Alabama runs them, not because Alabama's just this super elite team that didn't play good a couple weeks. I don't think Missouri is very good, and the points at where they're strong is not where you need to be strong to beat Alabama overall, at least to me.
I'm on board with the Alabama thrashing. Are we crazy, Blaine?
I mean, I just don't know how you could look at this Alabama team and think they're just going to kill somebody.
Because of who they're playing.
I mean, a one-loss Missouri team?
Yeah, you think Missouri's better than South Carolina?
I think Missouri could play with South Carolina.
Well, that's not my question.
You like them to win outright? Take them outright.
I think they could cover 14.5.
No, take them to win.
After an Alabama team that I've watched be favored by 3 touchdowns, multiple scores, come down to last-second games, yeah. I think Missouri with Noel. I mean, you go back to the Auburn game, Brady Cook gets hurt, your starting running back gets hurt, and you still find a way to come back and win that game. And I know Auburn's Auburn, but I do think with the athletes and the talent that you have, with Luther Burden Jr., with Theo Wise, a receiver, with the secondary that's somewhat questionable, if you can get the run game going in Missouri, you for sure can hold in this game. With Alabama committing 10-plus penalties every football game, if you do that, hell, I don't care what team you play, you're going to keep them in it anyways. So I wouldn't be surprised if Missouri covers this spread.
All right, so hold on now. Though. What happened at Texas A&M? What happened there with them?
Yeah, got beat up pretty bad.
Yeah, on both sides.
Exposed.
So here's again, to me, losing by 14 points in a conference game is getting your ass beat. So I don't think sitting here saying covering 14.5, that's a great job. That's still a thrashing to me. You get beat, you're a ranked team, and you go get beat by 14 in your conference on the road. And it's not like Missouri and Alabama are separated by 8 miles in the rankings. They're really not. So I think we got to make sure to say that. But you said, well, but hold on.
About covering
hold on. You're talking about Missouri's offense, which again, Bama's defense is suspect. Nobody's saying it isn't. But Missouri struggled on offense. I think Missouri can move the ball some against Alabama. I think Missouri can score some points against Alabama. The problem is, I don't think Missouri's defense can stop Alabama at all. If Jalen Milroe wants to throw it, if he wants to run it, if they want to run it. So yeah, you may score a couple times. You may score 17 points. Hell, you may score 21, but you're giving up 40. You're giving up 40 in this game.
Okay, yeah, I could see that, but I can also see Jalen Milroe throwing into a couple mistakes. if you get him throwing 30-plus times a game, which we've seen that.
Well, I don't think
with
they're going to throw
Alabama.
30-plus times.
And I think if you're Missouri, you could attempt to get the run game going. This Alabama defense has been susceptible against the run this year, and you have a good back in Noel. So, yeah, I get a thrashing, but I'm talking about covering spreads.
How about the over?
That's what I'm
How about
talking
the 55?
But if the spread was 35 and you said, yeah, I think they can cover, that's still a thrashing. That's, to me, yeah, we can talk about the spread and covering the spread, but losing by 14 points when you're ranked and you go to play another ranked team and they have 2 losses and you have 1 loss, getting beat by 14 is still a big deal. That's getting beat up to me. I think Missouri fans, if they lose by double digits, would say, you know what, we got beat up pretty bad in that game. I didn't expect as a Missouri fan maybe to win the game outright, but not to get beat by double digits.
Okay, yeah, you're talking about just winning a game outright. That's fine. I'm just talking about covering spreads.
Okay, well, we must be talking about 2 different things then. But I think Alabama is going to absolutely. Here's what will happen. Alabama's going to roll Missouri, and then people will start to say, see, Alabama's just fine. Watch what they're going to do the rest of the way. And then and the answer's always somewhere in the middle. They're not as bad as what you think. They're not as good as what you think. It's somewhere in the middle. That Alabama season is going to come down to what happens at LSU. Mm-hmm. That is going to determine whether I don't think they're making the SEC championship game now with these 2 losses, including to Tennessee, because there's no divisions. And when it comes down to tiebreakers, yeah, you got it over Georgia, but you don't have it over Tennessee. That LSU game is going to determine whether Alabama makes the college football playoff or not.
I like the over in that one, too. It's at 55.
I don't think that's crazy
right now.
Yeah, and that's when I threw the gun in the river and got out of there. Oh, hey, what's up, YouTube? Appreciate you guys stopping by. If you get a chance, hit that subscribe button. If not, well, I guess it is what it is.